This is just a very crazy story and quite scary as well. So enjoy this story. The story of the day that we found out my neighbor across us was actually a pedophile, believe it or not. This is just going to be very, very crazy, but what I'm about to tell you guys is actually a real story that happened. So let's just go and talk about it. So we're not going to talk about how we found out, but we're just going to kind of like build up how we eventually found out. So we had neighbors actually quite a long time ago. Two twin brothers. They were, goddamn, they were looking kind of like aliens. We just always used to call them the twin aliens because they just kind of looked like aliens. They had the fake goddamn dreadlocks. They were white, so they had the fake dreadlocks because, man, I'm sorry, but dreadlocks on white people, it don't look good. I'm sorry, but we don't rock with y'all. I'm sorry, we don't rock with you people that have fake dreadlocks. That just is weird. They just always had this weird kind of dreadlock thing going on. I don't know. They still have. I actually saw the guy a couple of days ago. He still has the goddamn dreadlocks. I'm like, okay, doesn't look good in you, but you do your thing, my man. But anyway, so the kids were always just kind of a little bit odd. I kind of had a weird vibe always. So we never actually liked the kids. We actually gotten into beef with them a couple of times. Having exchanges against us. Well, just actually kind of my brother only, not me, but I was a kid, but this is very crazy, man. The one time, we're just gonna go straight into it. So this guy used to live with him. He was married with his wife, the two kids, the two twin aliens, right? And it was all cool and fine until one day my dad was home. He told me the story this happened quite a while ago, obviously. But there was this woman just going out of her way, just crazy, just going, get out of the house, I'm gonna get you myself. You pedophile, you touched my daughter. And he was like, what the hell's going on? She was picking up goddamn stones and throwing against the window. That actually was a window that got busted because it was, she threw quite hard apparently. So the window got busted a couple of times. And my dad was just like, what in God's name is going on here? So he went to the neighbor next door, here. And she was like, what should I do? Should I just go call the cops? He said, let's just let you go approach her because, you're much better with people than I am because my dad isn't good with these kind of things. So she just approached her, and then my dad decided, just call the cops because it was just getting a little bit out of hands. And my neighbor next door just approached her and she said, let me go. And she said, well, what's going on? This man over here touched my kid. My daughter told me that he had touched her. And I'm just gonna keep it very real. When it comes to touching, it was down there. So that was just quite scary, man. Because he used to give private guitar lessons. Yeah, you hear me quite good. Private guitar lessons. Now, I actually don't know when it comes to these kind of lessons at home if you've got to actually be, if you've got to have a certain thing to be allowed. Because I'm not quite good when it comes to these kind of things. I don't know what he did was illegal. I don't know if you need paperwork to go teach kids guitar lessons at home. Maybe you can do it volunteer or kind of as a side job. But regardless, the guy used to give private goddamn lessons. So like 7, 8 o'clock at night, and you'd see sometimes like every week 3, 4 kids. Goddamn young. Kids that look like 12, 15, 16. Not even girls, but also boys. Go in and out, and then 2 hours later, from 7 to 9, they'll get out. I'm like, Jesus, who gives guitar lessons for 2 goddamn hours? That's just weird, man. I can understand 40, 45 an hour, but 2 hours? That's goddamn ridiculous. But anyways, I never suspected any kind of weird things going on, right? But she was pissed. She was just throwing rocks, so my dad was just like, okay, we've just got to call the cops. So the cops came 5 minutes later, and they had, they just kind of had to pull her out of the scene because she was just going ballistic. And matter of fact, the guy actually admitted to touching not just only her daughter, but also multiple other kids, private parts, female and male. Yeah, you guys heard me correctly, underage kids. And his wife just divorced his ass immediately, which I'm very glad she did because I don't actually remember what she looked like, but I'm quite sure of what he still looks like, kind of like a virgin. Like me. No, he's got like grey curly hairs and he's just got an all wrinkly face. I think the last time I seen him was like years ago, but yeah, he just admitted to straight up just touching the kids, not just only her daughter but several kids. Private lessons. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep it very real, but I wouldn't go send my child to private guitar lessons if they're just alone with the two of each other. That is just very strange because the kid here like behind used to go to him as well. Yeah, I used to know his big brother. He used to go and play football and stuff. That is just that's quite scary, man. Find out as a parent your goddamn child is. We've got no clue if he actually like went further than just touching him. We've really just got no clue. I'm hoping he did not, because if that was the case, he would have been locked up for a long time. He admitted it. He got out eventually, yes, and this pisses me off, these kind of things, because especially nowadays you've got people like luring out pedophiles with like these fake accounts, and the people that are luring out these pedophiles actually get sentenced to prison. Yeah, you hear me correct. Yep. Justice is great in the Netherlands. No, it just isn't. It's a massive goddamn joke here. When you are the hero, you get blamed for this. If you aren't the hero, you get defended. It's a joke. The system in the Netherlands, it's quite a disappointment, to be fair. And hey, anyway, so she divorced the guy. Obviously, thank God she had a lot of brains for that. But the crazy thing is, he got sentenced for I think 6-7 months prison, and he's never allowed to go near kids. He is never allowed to go work with kids at a job, so he's not allowed to go take care of kids. He's never allowed to be in contact working with kids, so like daycare, those kind of things. Anything that's got kids related, he's not allowed to go near kids as well. He isn't even allowed to visit his own cousins and shit. But just the crazy thing is, when he got out of prison, like all friends of ours used to live around the block. You had a guy back there, back here. Just in general, my brother and his friend saw him one time in the Jumbo, and everyone quite knew the news around here. It was kind of like, they all kind of knew it here, right? But they saw him, and they saw him in the Jumbo, right? Or I think it was a 1000 back in this, because it got turned into a Jumbo later. But they saw him, and they were walking to him like, I'm talking about big ass guys from 1m85 to 2m4, like big friends of ours. Saw him, and he said, "Get the F out of this store right now before we go do something to you. Get out of here right now." The guy just drops his bag and just walks out, pissing his pants. You've just got to realize, when 4 guys walk towards you, they're all above 190, they weigh a lot, they've got muscle. I'd just be quiet as well and just walk out, because it wasn't the fact that they were trying to hurt him, but they didn't want a person like that being around the area, which I can totally understand. I don't want someone like that in my area. God, no, you can get out. So eventually, I don't know if he actually moved out or got kicked out of the house. But after that, we had a couple of people, like 2 people living here. I think it was a gay couple. I've got no clue, but I'm going to assume they were gay, because there were 2 guys living with each other for like a year or 2. Guys were German, very, very cool, chill. Once in a while, we go talk to them. I actually think the house was maybe just kind of like rented for a while until they got out. Then we had 2 new people living here. Very, very cool, chill person. To be quite fair, I never talked to the guys because they never come outside. The guys are always inside. Female, male. Like, I think they're both girlfriend and boyfriend. Maybe they're wives. I've got no clue, but they look like boyfriend and girlfriend, right? Fairly quite young couple. But the thing is, which just kind of blows my mind, is the fact that the guy visited one of our friends, literally 2 minutes away from here, kind of like a minute walking only. You gotta realize, those friends of ours are very Christian, so they're quite religious, right? And we don't know if they actually knew about this. Maybe they did, maybe they forgot, maybe they forgave him, but he actually visited them, I think a year ago. My parents were there, and out of nowhere, this guy walks in, and they're like, whoa, this is our old neighbor who used to live across of the guy who admitted to touching kids, right? And my parents have told me they don't actually know at that point if our friends, that let him in, knew about the situation. I've really got no clue. I'm just going to keep it. I think they knew. Maybe they had forgotten, or maybe they just forgave him because they were very Christian. They were just very religious, Christians, I guess, forgive, I'm sorry. Well, my mom and dad will come out the house eventually, and they just told me, I'm like, what? The guy's out of prison? Yeah, the guy's out of prison. And we just saw him. And we was like, what about Haley? Oh, we made sure the guy did not come close to Haley, because if that was the case, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I know what you mean. Like, you've just got to realize, man, a guy like that in society is quite a big danger, because he would do it again. The chance that the guy does it again will happen. Without a thought, the guy will do it again, highly likely. And that's just the scary thing about these kind of people. If it happens once, the chance they do it twice is quite big, because if they see an opportunity, they go for it. But that was just crazy, man. We never knew the guy was this. We always just kind of had like weird vibes about person living across, because we just thought they were kind of odd, really just kind of strange. Always had loud music and this kind of stuff. Just weird kind of looking people, but I never assumed this. I never guessed it of him, because he was always just quite like antisocial, just always was kind of away from people and never really got attached to people. But I guess he just liked little kids. Private good adolescents. Man, oh man, I'm sorry, but as a parent, you've got to admit that is just very disturbing to find out your kid has been touched by a 35, 40 plus year old grown man that has got kids himself, which was more disturbing. The guy had kids himself, 15, 16. Nah. So he got away very, very fast when the news had spread around here. He even got in newspapers, and now he can never work with kids again. He's just been banned. I've got no clue what happened. I mean, I think I'm quite aware of the fact he's probably in the police reports. He's got to be. Guys, got him a minute, for God's sakes. He's got to be in the police data. So whenever he tries to go apply for a job with kids, yeah, they'll pull it up right away, the records, and they'll say, you're not allowed, get out of here. Yeah, it's very crazy, man. It's very scary. Finding out that your neighbor across used to be a pedophile. That's crazy, my man. Very surprised, to be quite fair. I didn't expect it at all. Kind of shocked when I heard it, But I guess that's the story of our private neighbor across the road. I know I'm joking, but it's quite sad, to be fair, man, that these kids had to go through those. Because a kid can get traumatized on those kind of things. That kid can have trust issues for the rest of his life, It wouldn't be surprising if one of the kids do have traumas. It wouldn't be surprising for me at all, man. It's just creepy, man. Private lessons as well, it's just weird, man. As a parent, something must go through your mind. Private lessons at someone's house at 7, 8 o'clock at night. Isn't that kind of weird? Come on, man. But anyways, I guess it just happened, and the guy is not working with kids anymore because he's been forbidden. But I'm gonna end this video. Thank you so much for watching this, man. Hey, peace out.